Hello, welcome back to the Ani Marie YouTube channel. I'm so happy to be here again with you guys because we're going to go through another whole level of motivation, which is absolutely amazing. I am so happy to be here with you guys and be sharing these motivations with you. I love you so much. I love you, love you, love you. Today's topic, we are talking about vulnerability has strength. There is strength in your vulnerability. Did you know that? Did you know that? I'm going to tell you. If you didn't know, I'm going to let you know. There is strength in your vulnerability. And when we think otherwise, it holds us back and it doesn't allow us to walk in what have been called for our life. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I really hope that you enjoy it because you're just absolutely amazing. And you are extraordinary. That's why I love you so much. What? Kenny, why do you love me? Why do you love me, Ani Marie? It's because you are extraordinary. I love you, love you, love you with all my heart. From the bottom of my heart, you are amazing. You are absolutely amazing. And I hope that you enjoy this video. Love you guys. Hi, dreams. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Today's topic is vulnerability is strength. Hi, dreams. Lauren. Hi, gorgeous. Vulnerability is strength. There is strength in vulnerability. How? When we're vulnerable, there is a weakness. Thank you, the man. Thank you, love. When we're vulnerable, there is a weakness. How many of us that are in here right now, how many of us believe that when we deal with being vulnerable, it's weak? If you feel like vulnerability is weak, I want to see a 1 in the comments. Can I get a 1 in the comments if you feel like vulnerability is weak? Why would we feel like vulnerability is weak? Because if we're vulnerable, then people can take advantage. Does anybody feel like vulnerability is weak? Because if I'm vulnerable, thank you, Believe. Yes, thank you, Sip. If I'm vulnerable, then you can take advantage of me. Okay, so we have people that said a 1 in the comments. Vulnerability is a weakness. Vulnerability, it shows every weakness that I have on the inside. What does vulnerability mean? Vulnerability is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being harmed. I'm going to say that again. Vulnerability is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being harmed, attacked, either physically, mentally, or emotionally. Okay? So we're going to say that again. What does vulnerability mean? Vulnerability means the quality or state of being exposed to the I need you to catch this, the possibility of being harmed or attacked, either physically or mentally. Right. So vulnerability is the quality of or state of being exposed to the possibility of being harmed or attacked mentally or physically. So if vulnerability makes us be exposed to something, why is there strength in it? Candy, I understood my whole life that every time, hey, Square, love you, King. Yes, Starboy, thank you, love. I understand every time I'm gonna talk to you now because I'm gonna talk to you, Candy, now because when we speak about vulnerability, every time I was vulnerable, somebody took advantage of me. Every time I come to a place to expose my weakness, you started plotting on ways on how you can take advantage of that very weakness where you can control me. When I deal with vulnerability, every time I begin to show a little bit of emotion, people begin to start talking about me. They say some things about me. They begin to try to use me because they see my weak parts and they use this vulnerability towards me as a kryptonite. There is a strength in vulnerability and your square vision. Yes! Yes, love. There is a strength in vulnerability because vulnerability is exposing some things, and as it's being exposed, people begin to use me. People begin to bring down my vibrations. People begin to make me feel weak. People begin to make me feel like I don't have the strength on the inside. They begin to magnify the very weak areas that I have. He's so NY. New York! Gotta love New York. 37 years. Hey, gang. He's so New York. Hey, love. Welcome forward. Okay, so Candy, you're telling me that vulnerability is strength. There's strength in vulnerability. That doesn't really make sense to me. I could speak to you, Candy, about some situations that I have, these life experiences that I've been through for my 37 years of living. I could sit there and tell you that vulnerability is a weakness, and that weakness can get you in trouble, and that weakness can get you hurt, and that weakness people can take advantage of you, and that weakness you could find yourself in a lot of pain. Am I speaking truth or not? So why did I say there is strength in vulnerability? Come on, Lola. Come on, Come on, Nay. There's truth in what I'm saying. So, Candy, it doesn't really make sense because you're speaking truth right now, but yet you're telling me there's strength in it. All right, so where does the strength come from? The strength comes from the very definition. What do you mean, Candy? The definition says I'm going to be harmed and I'm going to be attacked. No, let's really listen to what the definition says. The definition says the quality or state of being exposed to possibly. The quality or state. If I say that I love who I am, if I say that I love my authentic self, if I say I have self-love on the inside, then it calls me to be in a place of being vulnerable because I cannot be who I am without it. The Cranial King! Hey, love! There is strength, hi love, there is strength in vulnerability. If I allow myself to hide my vulnerability, then I am hiding who I am truly are, my authentic self. I'm so scared to the point that I am deciding what my future is before I even walk in it. What are you saying? What are you saying, Candy? What I'm saying is, if I come to a place to believe that vulnerability is a weakness, I will always hide my vulnerability. And if vulnerability's definition is the quality or state of being exposed of and possibly being harmed. Trish, hi gorgeous. Possibly being harmed. That means I'm deciding I'm failing before I even start. If we choose to hide our vulnerability, that means we're deciding that we're going to be harmed and we're going to be hurt without it even actually happening. And that part is deep. We're deciding our failure before we even move. We're deciding that we're losing the race before we even run. We're deciding that we're not good enough before we even have become into the fullness of who we're supposed to be. When I'm able to be in a place to be vulnerable, I'm able to say, I'm okay with my weaknesses. When I'm in a place to be vulnerable, I'm in a place to say, I'm okay with my authentic self. These scars that you see, these scars that you feel, my mishaps, my shortcomings, I'm okay with it. You know, I didn't recognize this about vulnerability until about a year and a half ago, a little bit after Corona started. So I'm technically calling myself out too, because how did I live 36 years? Well, actually almost 37 years hiding my vulnerability. So I'm trying to show at my loves that it was me too. I was taught from the beginning of time that I should not be vulnerable. Don't show your weakness. You always got to be strong. And that's why I have such a passion for my kings. I mean, I love my queens too. Come on now. But there's a difference. There's a different thing that's going on. The kings have such a standard to live up to, such a strength to uphold, such a facade they have to live in. And they've been trained that, and they've been taught that throughout the years, and they get pressed and they get pushed and they get and they go through a lot of stuff to uphold this manly, this divine masculinity up, like, and nothing can stop, and I can never feel sorry, and I can't have these bad emotions, and I can't have this weakness, and there's a lot going on. It wasn't until about a year ago, Grand Rising to you, welcome forward, Queen. It wasn't until about a year ago that I actually recognized that me hiding my vulnerability for 36 years was actually hurting me than actually protecting me. So I wanted to show that it's not a certain time about it. It's what we've been taught, and it makes sense. It makes sense because we do get harmed and we do get used by people because we're vulnerable. Don't even consider the better outcome. There is a possibility I might be harmed, but there's a possibility that I'm not. Vulnerability is the possibility. Why have we decided that we're going to have the worst outcome? Thank you, love. When we choose to hide our vulnerability, we have already decided that we are going to be in the worst outcome. We are looking at the glass half empty instead of the glass half full. And I want to say this because that's me. That was me for 36 years. That was me for 36 years, believing that vulnerability was a weakness. Always hiding my vulnerability. When you hide your vulnerability, you hide who you truly are. You hide your authentic self. You hide your very being. You're choosing to get rid of the things that you need to work on and don't let people see them. So you're creating this image of perfectness when it's not. It shouldn't even be like that. It's not true. When you create this image of being perfect, you are attracting people to this false image that you have, and these people are living this relationship with you, upholding this false image that you have to maintain now. You have to maintain it because it's not your authentic self. So you're beginning to live and act like something that you're not because you do not want to show your weaknesses. Now you're trying to obtain this relationship, and somewhere along the lines, your mask is going to start slipping and people are going to start seeing who you really are. And then they're going to say that you're not good enough. When you start showing, hey, Hebrew King, when you start showing, shalom to you, love, when you start showing who you really are, they're going to say you're not good enough. You should be like how you was. You should be like how you are when you have that mask on, because you created a world of a false image. That's what hiding vulnerability does. That's what hiding vulnerability does to us. We start creating this false image and this false lifestyle. And this lifestyle we got to obtain and we got to uphold. And sometimes we just want to let our hair down, and we start letting our hair down. People be like, you changed. You're not the same. You don't. But we're really just being our authentic self. When we come to a point to be able to find strength in vulnerability, we have to be able to act in courage. We have to have the strength on the inside to act in courage. We have to be so strengthened on the inside that we can be vulnerable. We're going to switch our focus off of vulnerability as a weakness. We're going to switch it to our strengths. And if we have enough strength on the inside, we will allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Because if you come to a place to be vulnerable with someone or something, you are stepping into a place of an act of courage. You ever looked at somebody that was in a terrible toxic relationship, and when they started deciding to starting to date again, you're really gonna date again? After all you went through, are you over that already? Are you serious? What if that happens again? You're gonna date again? These people are crazy out here. Men ain't no good. Women ain't no good. You're gonna date again? That's what's gonna happen. Beast Boy, I love. Adrian, hey love, hey Snow, Jon Snow, Game of Thrones, love it. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna date again? You're gonna go into another relationship again? What if you find somebody you wanna be with, and what if it becomes toxic? What happens? You know when you go in relationships, all this stuff happen, you're gonna be vulnerable again. You're gonna go out there again, man. You got some balls. That's what people say. Oh, you're gonna trust somebody again? You got some balls. You're gonna allow them to, you got some balls. And we say that because that's some strength. There's some courage you got on the inside to say, I'm gonna try this thing again. And though my weakness may be shown and displayed, I'm okay because I'm strong enough to handle what comes with it. I want to be strong enough on the inside that I live in my authentic self. I want to be strong enough on the inside that my life represents who I truly am. And if I have an issue with patience, I want you to know that so you can help me in it. And if I have an issue with fornication, I want you to know that so you can help me in it. And if I got an issue with faith, I want you to know that so you can help me in it. But if there's a possibility of me showing my weakness and you misuse it, then it actually helps me because it's telling me who you really are. Dr. Pharaoh, hey love. Do you see that? If I go out there and I am vulnerable about the shortcomings that I have and you used to mistreat it, I don't care whether you mistreat it anymore. I don't care how it's going to make me feel if you mistreat it or you try to misuse me because of my vulnerability. I'm going to take that as a win because I'm learning who you are, and I'm going to X you out of my life. You can try to take advantage of me because you know my weaknesses, but I will not allow you. You will be out of my life faster than you could blink or say your name. Come on, Lauren. I love when you guys comment. Thank you. Thank you, Sunflower. Look at that, guys. I'm almost at 5 stars. You guys are amazing. You're amazing. Zodiac Miz, take it. Come on. I'm not worried about who takes advantage of me anymore. I'm not worried about who's the possibility of being attacked or harmed. I'm strong enough to go through some things. I'm strong enough to get through some fights. I'm strong enough to get through some pain. If I got to take some pain to find out who people really are, then I'm here for it. If I got to take some pain to find out who's really for me, I'm here for it. I don't mind going through a little bit of pain. I don't mind going through a little bit of hurt because to find out who you really are, what your real motives are. How many of y'all out there with me? Me too. Come on. I see you, Starboy. I see you, Black Sea Oil. I see you, Lace Angel. How many people was with me? I'll take some pain to find out who you really are. So now you're going to start viewing vulnerability in a different light. I'm relating vulnerability to my authentic self. I am vulnerable because I'm not perfect. I do have some weaknesses. And when I expose them to you, I'm going to see what you're going to do with it. But the point I'm bringing up is I'm going to show my vulnerability. And I wish nigga would try to do something. I wish you would try to take advantage of me. I wish you would try to show your true colors so I can understand who you really are. Because I ain't got time to waste. I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to have strength in my vulnerability. I'm not seeing vulnerability as a weakness no more because I got this life to live and that life that more abundantly. So I don't got time to waste. I'm going to show you my weakness and I want to see if you're going to take advantage. I dare you. I wish you would. I wish you would take advantage of my weakness. I wish you would talk about my weakness. I wish you would try to manipulate me with my weakness. I wish you would. Yes, love. Yes, Ashley. I wish you would. because you'll be out of my life faster than you could even blink. We're going to start seeing our vulnerability related directly to us in a mirror of our authentic self. Enough with the world telling us that vulnerability is weakness, because that's where it comes from. We always got to be strong. We can't cry. We can't do this. We can't do that. The world always putting these rules and regulations and things being organic. If we cannot be vulnerable, then we cannot be our authentic self. We cannot live organically. We cannot relate to organic relationships. We can't deal with people organically if we are hiding our vulnerability. Because we're showing something and we're being something that we're not. Because we're hiding who we are. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you, sunflower. Your perfection is you. Your mishaps is you. Your strength is you. Your weakness is you. All of it, all together is you. You can't take a piece of it and hide it away because it's weak. We can't hide things. If you hide, go ahead, come on, Most High. If we hide things, they can't grow. If we hide things, it cannot grow. Vulnerability calls me to hide my weakness. How can I ever grow out of it? How can I ever strengthen it? If I plant, come on, sunflower. Okay, thank you. I'll use you as an example, love. And I'm not talking about sunflower the queen. I'm talking about sunflower the plant. If I take a sunflower, if I take the sunflower plant and I put a box around it outside, it never sees light. It never could grow past that box. It never could begin to grow anymore. And that's what we do with vulnerability when we hide it. When we hide our vulnerabilities, we are not allowing it to grow. Yes, thank you, Calm. K-Zone, thank you, love. We are not allowing it to grow. We are not allowing it to get greater. We are not allowing it to see the light. The sunflower needs to see the light so it can begin to produce, to grow. And when we hide our vulnerability, it can never see the light. We'll never shed light on the things, on our weaknesses, to begin to make them stronger. If we hide our weakness, let's get a little bit deeper. If we hide our weakness, how can the Most High that we serve prove himself as our Father and as our God if we hide the weaknesses that he can show himself strong in? Every weakness through him will be made strong through him. So if we hide the weakness, then he could never manifest and be completely head of our life if we do that. How can we do that? We can't. When we hide our vulnerability, we never allow our weakness to grow. We never allow our weakness to be strengthened. Our weakness has to be able to see the light. And as it sees the light, we begin to grow in it. Just like a plant, we can't box a plant and it will never grow. It cannot ever get past the box that it is concealed in. And it's the same thing with our vulnerabilities. Our vulnerabilities can never get past that box that we conceal it in. And we can never get a place to be our better self, to grow into our better self. Being vulnerable is an act of courage. My strength on the inside, the strong things about me overpower every single weakness that I have. Do you see that? The strong things about me overpower every single weakness that I have. That I'm going to tell you what my weaknesses are, because I believe that who I am is who the Most High created me to be. And if he made me as a perfect creation with my strengths and my weaknesses, I am enough. I'm going to be vulnerable because I am enough. My weaknesses don't make me who I am. It's not represented in my identity. It's not. I will be who I am regardless of my weaknesses, regardless of my strength. I am who I am. To be vulnerable is an act of courage, because you begin to deal with your authentic self. Take it or leave it, right? Take it or leave it. If you don't like that I don't have patience and you're not going to help me to grow in it, take it or leave it. If you don't like that, I don't like how I deal with myself and I don't like what I see and I'm always complaining about myself, then you could take it or leave it. You're gonna have to help me grow in it or you gotta go. That's what I'm saying. It's not enough for you to say, okay, yeah, you have some weaknesses, I'll deal with it. No, you have some weaknesses, and King, I'm going to help you grow in them. You have some weaknesses, Queen, I'm going to help you grow in them. You want to be vulnerable so you can find those type of people that love you unconditionally. I want to see what you're going to do with me showing you what I'm vulnerable with. I want to see what you're going to do with when I show you my weakness. Amen. I'm going to show you it because I want to see what you're going to do. I'm strong enough for you to misuse the weakness that I reveal to you if you use it, but I'm not going to keep allowing you to do that because you won't be in my life anymore. I'm strong enough to deal with it for a time. Oh, thank you, Nola and Drop. Thank you, Nola. I'm strong enough to deal with it for a time, but I'm not going to stay in it because I'm worth more than that. So I'm going to show you what I'm vulnerable in. I'm going to show you my weaknesses, and I'm going to stand there like bait and watch to see what you do with it. And depending on how you treat me in my weaknesses determines whether you should be in my life or not. There's courage when we there's an act of courage because we're dealing with our authentic self. And I love myself enough that I'm not going to put mask on for you. I'm not going to be something that I'm not for you because I love myself more at the end of the day. And by me loving myself more, yay! And by me loving myself more at the end of the day, I am able to truly be my authentic self. And when I'm my authentic self, I can truly be happy. I can truly live in an unconditional love world. I can truly live life and that more abundantly. So I understand what it takes. Oh yeah, I'm going to be vulnerable with you. You're going to see it. We're going to get there. We're going to do it because I need to see how you're going to treat me. I need to see what's going to happen. That's what we're doing. Do you hear me? That's what we're going to do. I have courage in who I am. I have courage in who stands behind me, that I don't care if you try to hurt me. When I show you that I'm vulnerable, when I show my weakness, I want you to take the bait. I want you to show me who you truly are so I know whether you should be here or not. Moving on. Vulnerability, hiding our vulnerability puts us in a place to hide behind a fake facade to appease people. Let's get a little deeper. Let's get a little bit. Nina, hey love. Let's get a little deeper. Not even that. Let's X that out. Let's say that we're not truly being our authentic self because we want to look strong in front of people. I got something different. A lot of times it's not about us just showing that we're strong. I'm going to give you the number one reason on why people choose not to expose their weaknesses, on why people hide their vulnerability. The number one reason why people hide their vulnerability is because they don't want to be hurt again. The number one reason why people choose to hide their vulnerability is because they do not want to be hurt again. The pain that they felt, come on Jen, come on Lauren, the pain that they felt when they was vulnerable, come on Lola, come on Black Seed, the pain that they felt when they was vulnerable hurt so bad. The pain, it hurts so bad because we love them so much and they hurt us so bad. That pain from true unconditional love that you were showing somebody and they mistreated it and they caused you pain by everything that you have given them. We never want to feel that type of pain again. We don't want to feel that pain again. That pain that put us in a state of depression. That pain that made us not believe in who we are. That pain that took us to the point that we were so devalued that we couldn't move. That pain that brought our frequency so low, we couldn't even find a signal anymore. That pain. Candy, I gotta hide my weaknesses. I can't be vulnerable out in these streets. I can't be vulnerable in my life. You don't understand. At the times, every single time I try to show somebody who I really am, you don't understand how they destroy my confidence. You don't understand how they make me feel so small. I could be on the mountaintops and I find myself in the valley when I start exposing who I really am, and they see the weakness and they misuse it, and they mistreat me, and they harm me, and they abuse me, and it's physical and it's mental, and the things that I went through, the things that I've seen, how I felt. I don't even think I was able. I was in a place I didn't even feel like I could come out again. So you're asking me to not hide my vulnerability. You don't know when I was vulnerable what it cost me, Candy. You don't know what that vulnerability cost me, Candy, when I was vulnerable with the person that looked me in the eye and said, I love you to death, but they harmed me till I was about to die. You can't talk to me and come to me about being open about vulnerability. You don't know what it had cost me. It almost cost me my life. So, Candy, how are you telling me there's strength in vulnerability? The key to vulnerability is, come on, Lola, if it wasn't for the Most High, the key to vulnerability is, and the problem with it for us, is the pain that we feel from that vulnerability is greater, is so much greater than the love that we have for ourselves. I know it's hard to think about. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, and I'm going to explain why. The pain that we felt from that vulnerability, what that vulnerability has cost us in pain, that pain is greater than the self-love that we have for us. That is why we hide it. That is why we almost died in it. We wasn't good enough that person, AJ, hi King, we wasn't good enough that person that caused that pain when we showed our vulnerability. We needed them so much in our life to validate who we are and the love that we're supposed to have, that it hurt when they mistreated us so bad that we felt like we was gonna die in it, so bad that we felt devalued, so bad that we felt like we couldn't continue life because we wasn't good enough. But if we had the self-love on the inside, that when the pain begins to come, it doesn't make me lower who I am, but it makes me see the mirror that's reflecting on the person that is mistreating me because of my vulnerability. It's showing you that you don't know how to love, that you don't know how to love. Not me, that you don't know how to handle people. Not me, that you don't have self-love for yourself. Not me. That's what it shows me. I'm switching from a place of my vulnerability. It costs me a lot. I'm switching from what the cost is coming from. The cost is coming from other people's views of you, when the cost should be coming from the view that you have of other people. Vulnerability costs, but it should not cost because of how somebody thinks of you. It should cost on what you think of them. Because if you're vulnerable and you become vulnerable and you use it as bait, I'm going to be vulnerable, right? Yes, One Eye. I'm going to be vulnerable and show you my weaknesses. I'm not going to allow you to use those weaknesses to cause me pain. I've been there. We did that before. I wasn't a life like that before. I went through some trauma because of that before, but I'm going to make it cost on you, not on me this time. The cost is not about them anymore. We got to care about our cost first. The cost is we don't want to be vulnerable because people are going to treat us badly. We're gonna feel pain from them like we did before. No, I'm not gonna use my vulnerability in that way. I'm gonna use it for a testing. I'm going to show you my weakness. You will not be able to take advantage of me in my weaknesses anymore. You're not going to do that. I'm going to see what you're going to do with it. I won't allow myself to experience that same pain that I had before when I was vulnerable. I ain't going to let it get there. I have more self-love for me on the inside that I know I have to be vulnerable with you so I can see who you are, so I can see what your motive is. And I'm not going to put you in a place where you're going to be able to hurt me like the people did before when I was vulnerable with them. I have too much self-love on the inside for that. I'm too strong about myself to make me feel any type of way than I am. Come on, Ebony. Thank you, love. Is anybody getting this? I'm scared to show my weaknesses. I'm scared to be vulnerable because of the pain that it cost me before. Now I understand that I was buying in the wrong shop. Now I understand I was spending that cost in the wrong shop. I was spending that cost of vulnerability in a shop that had to deal with people and not me. Now I'm spending that cost of vulnerability in a shop that has to deal with me. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be on my authentic self to see if you really truly love me unconditionally. To see if you still feel like I'm great when you see me in my low. To still see and to still see, thank you, love. Yes, the timing of this message is everything. Come on now, Lauren. Thank you, One Eye, for my tab. Thank you, AOE. Come on, One Eye, you right? This is what I need to hear. Come on, it's Ebony. I'm not going to allow that pain that I felt that almost killed me to ruin my life. I'm not going to allow that pain that almost killed me determine my destiny. No, I'm going to have the real and right relationships that are supposed to be in my life so I could get to where I need to go in my destiny. I'm going to have those relationships that I deserve and not the little scraps that I've been dealing with because of my vulnerability. Come on, divine timing. Come on, AOE. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. That pain was so great that I am going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to hide my vulnerability. I'm not hiding from the pain anymore. I'm not going to allow anybody to hurt me that bad again. I'm going to stand for myself because they was allowed to hurt me when I was so vulnerable before, and that pain hurt so bad because I allowed them to. I allowed them to. Hey, Daddy Savage. Thank you, Enchantress. Jay. Come on. Zulu. Hey, love. Yes. Christopher. Hey, love. It's Ebony, right? I'm not going to let the pain that I felt before that almost killed me control my life and make me live a life less than I deserve. Because that's what we're doing. When we hide our vulnerability, we cannot be our authentic self. And we cannot live a life, and that more abundantly, if we're not being who we truly are. Our destiny has been called for our authentic self, not the fake, phony, fugazi life that you're choosing to be, or person that you're choosing to be. That false evidence appearing real person that you're choosing to be. That fear person that you're choosing to be. It's not a design for your destiny. You cannot go and collect here. You cannot go and collect your reward being your fake self. It's not going to happen. And that's what happens when we are. And that's what happens when we live in a life that we are not our authentic self.
In the field of psychology, neuroscience.
That's what happens. We cannot claim our destiny not being who we really are. And the longer that we keep hiding this vulnerability, the longer that we are stagnating our blessing. The longer we are stagnating our life and our journey to be our greatest selves. If I can't truly put on the table who I am, how can I make myself better? How do I even know that the relationships are worth it? I want to be able to be vulnerable with the people I love. That makes me know if you really love me. That makes me know that you love me without conditions. We have so much pain in being vulnerable before because we believed something that was not. That person we allowed to hurt us because we kept them in our life longer than they were supposed to be there. When we become vulnerable with somebody and they begin to misuse us, that's a signal telling you that they do not belong in your life. But because we needed them to validate our love, we choose to keep them in our life 10, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And that's why we felt like we was going to die when we became vulnerable. Vulnerability is something that is a blessing. You know why? A blessing and weakness. Yes, because it allows me to detect the people that are real for me or not. Come on. It allows me to detect whether people are really for me or not. That part. Come on, One Eye. If you start choosing to take advantage of my weakness, guess what? You don't belong here. If you start choosing to make fun of my weakness, you don't belong here. Come on, One Eye. Hey, Drip. Hey, love. You do not belong here. And that's how we dealt. That's why the pain was so great, because we allowed them to reside with us and they felt like we wasn't even worth it. We allowed them to reside with us and they had devalued who we are very being. We allowed them to reside with us and they was loving us with conditions. Oh, no, baby. I got some strength about myself. I know who I am. I got some self-love on the inside. I am going to be vulnerable with you, and I dare you to try to misuse me. And I dare you to try to cause me some pain. And I dare you to try to step out the box and make me be something that I'm not. And I dare you to try to put me in a place to live less than I deserve. It's not going to happen. I know who I am. Come on, One Eye. I know who I am, and I know what I carry, and I know who my father is. So I dare you. I'm going to have my weakness on display. But the one thing that you don't know is the strength for me on the inside is greater than every weakness that I have in my life. The strength that I love, the self-love that I have for me is stronger than any weakness that I could display to you. Because there's no weakness in my self-love. There is only strength. Because self-love doesn't care about my weakness. Self-love doesn't say I gotta have it all together. My strength of self-love on the inside is stronger than any vulnerable weakness I could show you. That part. There is strength in vulnerability because I understand that the strength that comes on the inside will always be stronger than any weakness that I show you. So I will be vulnerable with you so I can see who you are. Vulnerability doesn't have anything to do with us. It has to do with the people. It's used for us to determine what people's motives are. That's a wealthy word. Yes, Show some love, y'all. Right, Ashley? Thank you, love. Yes, they did. You guys are amazing. Thank you for helping me reach my goal today. I love you. I love you guys. I love you. Let's speed it up. I'm going to be done in about 10 minutes. Here we go. We're going to be vulnerable because there's a possibility of us being harmed, and that's what vulnerability means. Come on, Empress Libra. Yes, love, calm. Yes, that way. Hey, love, demigod. Hey, Vigo thought. Hey. That's funny. Vulnerability definition is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked. I don't mind being exposed to the possibility of being hurt, because if me being hurt will determine who you really are and show me your heart, then I'm willing to take that chance, because my time is more valuable than that. And I'm more worthy than living a fake life or in a fake relationship than for me to show my authentic self. Come on, thank you, Lace Angel. Hey, Money Bags. We gotta come out and not have fear of the unknown. We hide our vulnerability because there's a possibility of us being harmed. No, I'm gonna live. I'm okay with the unknown, because the unknown is where our greatest potential lies. The unknown is showing us a vast place that no matter what I come across, no matter what I get into, I could get through. I don't need to see the journey and the road ahead. All I need is to press. All I need is to try my very best with a good heart, and things will start aligning for me. I understand that the unknown will not hold me back, because it's where my potential lies. I can't always be in the same environment. I can't always be in the same box, because there will always be limits. But when I deal with a life of the unknown, then I'm dealing with a place and an environment without limits. That means there's no limits on my growth. There's no limits on my strength. There's no limits on my self-love. There's no limits on my unconditional love. Yay! We celebrate you, love. Much blessings on your journey. You are a truly queen of greater light. Thank you, King Yosef. Thank you, love. The unknown is where I want to be. There's so much fear of the unknown, of the routine, of the everyday. There's so much fear of stepping out of relationships that we don't deserve. So much fear of stepping out of jobs we don't deserve. So much fear of stepping out of ourselves and the things that we put ourselves in that we do not deserve. There's so much fear there. But when we understand that the unknown is the place I want to be, because the unknown is where my greatest potential lies. The unknown will be able to house the great person that I'm living to be. Oh, unicorn, thank you, love. Mount, yes, demigod. Oh, the natural bay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys' gifts. I do. Because it helps me come on here and love you, love you, love you. The unknown was scary to me at first, but I think I need to enjoy the journey. Come on, demigod. The unknown is scary. Can we be real? We're stepping into something we've never been in. We're stepping into a place that it's new, it's fresh. I don't know what the next step leads me. I don't know where the next corner is taking me. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm okay with the unknown, because I know what my safety net is. Yes, money and time is invested. Come on, demigod, if we could be real. We're not so spiritual we're no earthly good. We live in this. We're not so spiritual that we're no earthly good. We live in this life. When we invest money and we invest time, we understand that there's some value in that. So we don't just want to lose things, do things loosely and do things without planning and do things. But what we need to understand is that at the end of the day, we should never be living in a place where we're getting less than what we're deserving. And if it calls us to come out into the unknown, we should be willing to do it, because we're willing to do it because we know that we deserve more. I'm willing to step out into the unknown. I'm willing to step out into the unknown to understand who exactly I truly, I'm willing to step out to the unknown because I'm truly coming to a place to understand what I deserve. The unknown is a place of growth. The unknown is a place of where we can be truly who we are and we have no limits. But why is it scary? That's what we're talking about. The unknown can be scary, but when we know where our safety net is, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, because your rod and your staff comfort me. I know his rod and his staff is with me, so he will always be my safety net. He will be my eyes in the dark as I walk in the unknown. How much faith do you have, my king and queens? Do you really know who your father is? Because he's calling you out to a place that you have never seen. He's calling you out to a place that you're unfamiliar. He's calling you out to a place of the unknown. Are you willing to have faith enough to follow? Are you willing, king and queens, to have faith enough to follow in what you deserve? And that's it. And that's it. The unknown is where our greatest potential lies. And the last thing I want to say, well, not the last thing. I always say that. I always say the last thing I want to say, and then don't be afraid of change and follow. Yes, 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 Calm Divine. Bomb baby, hey love. Lauren, you're welcome, love. There's last thing I'm going to say about this topic, but then, you know, there's always a last thing I have to say before we get off, right? Okay, so, all right. You guys, the last thing I'm going to say is embrace. Here we go. Here we go. Embrace your vulnerability. It is your greatest strength. Did you hear me? Embrace your vulnerability. It is your greatest strength. That's what it is. Embrace it. Embrace your weaknesses. And if people that you are connected to aren't willing to embrace your weaknesses and help you grow in them, then they should not be connected. If the people, I'm going to say that one more time, if the people that you're connected to are not embracing your weaknesses like you do and help you grow in them, they should not be connected to you. Oh, thank you, unicorn. Right, Rips? Come on now. Come on, Ocean. Embrace your vulnerability. It is your greatest strength. You know what type of army and circle you would have with people that accept your vulnerability and help you grow in it? They got to be strong themselves to be able to do that. And vulnerability helps you to weed out those people that want to take advantage of you. Because as soon as they start taking advantage, I dare you. That's why I said, right? I dare you to do it. I dare you to try to take advantage of me. I dare you to try to hurt me after me telling you my weaknesses and my shortcomings. I want to see what you're going to do with it. Because even if you try to do something to it, it's not going to matter, because I got enough strength on the inside of self-love for me. You will never change how I feel about me. Because I'm okay with my weaknesses. I want to see if you're not. I'm going to say that one more time. Because I'm okay with my weaknesses. I want to see if you're not. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm okay with my weaknesses. I want to see if you're not. The reason why I'm okay with my weaknesses is I'm working on making them strong. I'm okay with my weaknesses. I want to see if you're not. And if you're not, you don't got to be here. And if you're not, you don't deserve to be here. So keep it moving. Right. She said, bring it. Bring it, because I got some continence about myself. I'm very assertive about who I am. I dare you to try to misuse the weakness that I just revealed to you, so I could see who you truly are. When people try to take advantage of your vulnerability, it shows exactly who they are. Before you be vulnerable with people, make sure that you are in a place to have strength on the inside with yourself. Before you start exposing your weaknesses to people, make sure you are okay with your weaknesses yourself. That's why we get pained in it. That's why we get hurt in vulnerability. Because we're not even okay with our own weaknesses. That's why it hurts so bad when somebody takes advantage of it. Come on, Drip. The reason why we felt so much pain and why we hide our vulnerability, because of the pain that it put us through, because of the pain that we dealt with. The reason why we do that is because we're not even okay with our weakness. We're not even okay with what we're vulnerable with. Because if I'm okay with my weakness, the more you try to talk about it and misuse it, it doesn't matter to me because I'm okay with it. You're just showing me that you're not. And if somebody can hurt you when you're vulnerable, so much so to the point where you feel like you're going to die, it's showing you that you're not even okay with your own vulnerability. And I know that because I've been there. I've been there. I wasn't okay with my weaknesses, that when people started misusing me with them, I came to a place to feel so hurt and so pain because I didn't like my weakness and I didn't like other people misusing me and my weakness. But when I'm okay with my weakness because I understand I'm growing in it, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter what you try to do. You can try to hurt me in it, but I already know. That's like I'm telling you, I was vulnerable in understanding, believing that, knowing that I have a charge, knowing that I have a record. That was my vulnerability. That was my weakness. My weakness was I had a charge on my life. When I began to get some strength about myself, I recognized that regardless of everything that I've been through in my life and all my weaknesses, I have still been called for a destiny. The destiny knew about my weaknesses as it was created. The Most High knew about my weaknesses as He created my destiny. So how can my weakness even be a weakness that has to reflect on me? I didn't care about it anymore. It didn't matter to me. If you want to talk about something that has to do with me that I already overcame, you could do that all you want. There ain't going to be no pain in it for me. It's just showing you who you are. Right. I have strength about myself. I understand my weaknesses and I'm okay with it. So again, my weakness isn't a weakness when the Most High can use it as a strength. Right. Yes, Nola. Nola is saying exactly what we were saying earlier. Come on now. Why would the Most High need to be the Most High if we hide our weaknesses all the time? Why would the Most High, how can He show who He is in our life if we're strong in everything? How can He show who He is? How can He show Himself strong in us? How can we see Him and His power and who He is in us? Thank you, Enchantress. Thank you, love. If we have nothing that He can show Himself strong in, if we're good with everything is perfect, everything's okay, we make everything seem like we're strong, we just indestructible, we're Superwoman, we're Superman, nothing else can hurt us. Why do we need a God? Why do we need Him? That's what that says. I'm going to be okay with my weaknesses and I'm going to continue to work on them. Because remember, as I go forward and I try my very best with a good heart, the Most High is going to fill in those blanks. Every weak spot, every vacant spot, every shortcoming, the Most High is going to fill it for us, where we actually are strong. And he will begin to align some things for us in our life, because every gap and every area that we need to be filled, he's going to fill it himself. So why are we so bothered about our weaknesses if we know the Most High will strengthen us in them? If we are bothered about our weakness, we don't have as much faith in the Most High as we should. In my weakness, he is made strong. That's what the word says. It's okay for me to not have it all together, because he's going to make me complete. I am whole in him. Do you see that? So I could be vulnerable in my weakness, and you can make fun of it all you want. I'm okay with it, because I know my Father will fill it. I know I'm going to get greater in it. I know he will strengthen me there. But you making fun of it is telling me and showing me, you trying to take advantage of it is showing me who you truly are. You ain't going to be here anymore. Right? So again, embrace your vulnerability as your greatest strength. Okay. So embrace your vulnerability. It is your greatest strength. Now we see what vulnerability it really is. We see what it does to us. We know that we can't hide it. If we hide it, then we are hiding our authentic self. Thank you, DJ. It is just like that. Thank you, love. So be confident in who you are. Have that strong self-love on the inside. Know who your Father is. Have faith that he will fill in every weakness, that in your weakness, he will be made strong. And you go out there and you have strength in your vulnerability. I'm going to try this relationship again because I have strength in my vulnerability. I'm going to deal with people again because I have strength in my vulnerability. I'm going to go out and walk in my destiny because I have strength in my vulnerability. I'm not going to be scared of who I am anymore because I have strength in my vulnerability. I'm going to walk in the unknown because I know that's where my greatest potential lies. I'm going to use my vulnerability. I have strength in it because the strength on the inside is what equals my vulnerability. Yes. Wow, right? Aren't you like just in another world now just because of how what? There is strength and vulnerability. There's so much strength in actually being able to be vulnerable, to show your weakness. There's strength in that because you're so strong on the inside that you're able to show your weakness without, even if people would take advantage of it, your strength on the inside doesn't allow them to break you. Isn't that amazing? It's like if you choose to step out on something that is scary, you have strength because you're willing to have the courage to go through it. Even if somebody is possibility of them taking advantage of your vulnerability. That is strength. So that's what we're going to walk in now, right? Wasn't it absolutely amazing? I thank you all to continue to watch the videos, put your comments. You know I love when you comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can continue to get these messages, which is absolutely positive and high vibrations and absolutely extraordinary vibes. We already know. All right. But I love you all. I hope that this helped you so much. I really do. I pray that it did. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and have a beautiful, excellent, amazing, fantastic day. Love you.